Meghan Markle's latest setback is not just a fashion story. It is another chapter in the larger Sussex problem. Every attempted reinvention seems to end up proving the same point. Meghan can still create headlines, but headlines are not the same as power, credibility, or lasting acceptance. According to reporting discussed by Paula Froelich, Meghan has effectively been frozen out by Balenciaga after her previous appearance at Paris Fashion Week, where she had hoped to position herself as a serious, high-fashion figure. The whole episode was meant to be a career-changing moment. Meghan in Europe, Meghan connected to a major fashion house, Meghan sitting near the center of a glamorous world, Meghan stepping away from jam, lifestyle emails, royal drama, and awkward product launches into something sharper, sleeker, and more elite. But according to the reporting, that is not what happened. Instead, the fashion world appears to have decided that Meghan brings attention, yes, but the wrong kind of attention. The scene that triggered this latest discussion was Pierpaolo Piccioli's highly anticipated haute couture debut for Balenciaga in Paris. The show itself was reportedly a triumph, held against a dramatic Parisian backdrop, with the press praising the clothes and the audience responding emotionally.
Today, Meghan Markle's fashion freeze-out. She has been dumped by Balenciaga just 1 year after she thought, I'm going to invite myself appearance at Paris Fashion Week was going to change her career for good. That isn't the case.
The collection included major couture work, including a gown made from thousands of hand-cut petals and a rooster feather reimagining of a 1967 archival look. Real front-row names were there: Demi Moore, Cynthia Erivo, Naomi Watts, people who fit naturally inside that high-fashion ecosystem. But one person was noticeably absent: Meghan, Duchess of Sussex. According to Froelich's source, Meghan was not invited back. The reason, as presented in the report, was blunt. After what happened last time, the designer did not want the show to become about her. He wanted the focus to remain on the clothes. That is the key point. Fashion houses love attention, but they love controlled attention. A couture show is not just a celebrity gathering. It is a major creative moment for a designer, especially when it is a debut or a reset for a historic house. The front row is part of the storytelling, but it is not supposed to swallow the clothes. The celebrity presence should amplify the collection, not hijack the narrative. According to the reporting, that is what insiders felt Meghan did during her previous appearance.
But as Paula rightfully notes, noticeably one person was not at the show. His supposed good friend and collaborator, according to her, the Duchess of Sussex. And this is where it gets juicy. Paula's source revealed, oh God, no, she was not invited. Not after what happened last time. Paula makes the conclusion that Meghan has now been fully shunned by the fashion world.
She was not just a guest quietly supporting a designer. She allegedly allowed, or at least benefited from, the impression that there was a deeper collaboration or special relationship. Then Piccioli later described the connection more modestly, saying they had met some years earlier, had texted, and that Meghan had reached out to say she would love to attend the show. If that version is accurate, it undercuts the grander mythology. There is a huge difference between a designer personally building a fashion moment around a major muse and a famous duchess asking to attend a show. That difference matters in fashion, where hierarchy, access, timing, and relationships are everything. Beyoncé can be treated as a genuine collaborator because she has a long, documented relationship with designers, tours, custom couture, and global performance impact. When Beyoncé wears something, it can become a cultural moment that still points back to the designer's work. Meghan, by contrast, seems to create a different kind of storm. People talk about Meghan being there, why she was there, what she wanted, what it means for her image, whether she was invited, whether she arrived late, and whether she made the event about herself. The clothes become secondary. That is poison for a designer trying to define a new era. The source discussed a reported payment or expense package in the region of $250,000, said to cover travel, hotels, cars, outfits, and the wider public relations value of having Meghan there. In the luxury fashion world, that may not be an outrageous sum if the appearance delivers the right kind of attention. But the problem is not the cost alone. The problem is return. If a celebrity generates admiration, desire, and product interest, the investment can be worth it. If a celebrity generates mockery, controversy, irritation, and brand risk, the calculation changes fast. Fashion houses do not want to pay for the privilege of being pulled into the Sussex drama. The previous appearance also raised questions of etiquette. According to the discussion, Meghan arrived late after Anna Wintour had already taken her seat. In fashion, timing is its own protocol. Anna Wintour arriving early sends a message. The room is ready, the important people are in place, the show can begin. If another guest then enters late, pauses for photographs, and draws attention back onto herself, that can be interpreted as more than a scheduling mistake.
At his after party, saying him and Meghan met some years ago, they've been texting ever since, and she reached out to say she would love to come to the show. So while his team agreed to pay a reported $250,000, now look, I know to you or me, that sounds like a lot, but Paula says it's for her flights, hotels, cars, and outfits. Actually, not that much in this world. She says, considering it was part of the PR boost for the show, no one knew it would be hijacked. But fashion observe.
It can look like a deliberate entrance. It can look like someone trying to create a personal moment inside another person's creative milestone. Critics also focused on Meghan appearing to laugh when a model stumbled before Marcus Anderson seemed to quiet her. Whether that moment was misunderstood or not, in public image terms, it fit an unhelpful narrative. Meghan as self-conscious, disruptive, and unable to let the room belong to someone else. That is the deeper problem with Meghan's brand. She often enters spaces that are meant to be about something else and somehow becomes the entire story. A charity appearance becomes about Meghan's outfit. A royal adjacent visit becomes about Meghan's status. A cooking show becomes about whether she is monetizing the Duchess title. A fashion show becomes about whether she was invited, whether she behaved correctly, and whether the designer regrets the association. This is not always entirely her fault. The media is naturally drawn to her because she is polarizing, and polarizing figures create clicks. But at a certain point, brands begin to ask whether the attention is useful or merely exhausting. That question sits underneath the Balenciaga freeze-out. Meghan has what advertisers call name recognition. Almost everyone knows who she is, but recognition does not automatically translate into aspiration. People may read about her, debate her, mock her, defend her, and obsess over her movement. That does not mean they want to buy what she wears, drink what she sells, cook what she cooks, or follow her into a lifestyle world. In fact, for some brands, the association can become a liability because Meghan's presence attracts attention that is intensely personal and often negative. People do not talk about the garment. They talk about Meghan. They do not talk about the craftsmanship. They talk about whether she is using the event for reinvention. This is why the fashion setback matters more than one missed invitation. Meghan has been trying for years to find a stable post-royal identity. She has tried humanitarian seriousness, documentary confession, podcast conversation, lifestyle television, product launches, philanthropy, and high fashion proximity. Each new lane is presented as the one that will finally make the public reconsider her. But instead of building a coherent identity, the constant reinventions make the public feel that nothing is grounded.
No, not at all. And also, let's be real clear about being nominated for an Emmy.
Yeah, please. What's going on here, Paula?
It's a marketing campaign, as is everything, as is all of their awards, whatnot. You know, it's almost as if Harry has turned into a professional award winner. And Emmys are quite easy to get nominated for, to be fair, as long as you've got the money.
Meghan looks less like a woman with a clear calling and more like someone searching for the next image that might work. The daytime Emmy nomination for With Love, Meghan fits into the same pattern. On the surface, it is a win. The show received a nomination in the lifestyle category, and Meghan publicly congratulated the team behind it. For supporters, this offers a neat talking point. Critics said the show failed, but now it has an Emmy nomination. The problem is that the nomination does not answer the larger question. It was not a personal hosting nomination for Meghan. It was not a primetime Emmy recognition. It was not broad industry validation across directing, editing, performance, or production. It was a single daytime lifestyle nod for a show whose real struggle was not whether it could be submitted for an award, but whether viewers actually loved it. Awards can be useful, but they do not erase weak public response. In entertainment, nominations can come from campaigning, category strategy, name recognition, production company effort, and the mechanics of the awards process. That does not make them meaningless, but it does make them less conclusive than fans want them to be. If, with Love, Meghan had become a cultural hit, the nomination would feel like confirmation. Because the show was widely criticized as overproduced, slow, overly controlled, and lacking natural warmth, the nomination feels more like a marketing tool than a true comeback moment. That is Meghan's Hollywood problem in miniature. She can secure the label, but the label does not create the substance. She can be called Emmy nominated, but that does not mean she has become a compelling television host. She can produce glossy images, but that does not mean she has built a real lifestyle authority. She can celebrate a nomination, but that does not mean platforms are eager to pour more money into a format that did not appear to justify its scale. With Love, Meghan reportedly had a large crew and a costly production style for what should have been a relatively simple lifestyle program. That kind of mismatch is dangerous. A cooking and hosting show should not need to feel like a massive prestige drama to function. The show was supposed to make Meghan feel intimate and relatable. Instead, many critics felt it made her seem more artificial. Lifestyle television works when the audience believes the host has a real relationship with the material. Martha Stewart made people believe she had authority.
Absolutely, you spot on, Dan. And the funniest thing is that she really thought this was going to be yet another reinvention. It would really help her one-off, and she knew one-off was coming. But the thing is she sucked all the oxygen out of the room. Her behavior was so bizarre. She showed up to the original, his debut show. This was Pier Paolo's first.
Ina Garten makes people believe in comfort, warmth, and taste. The best lifestyle hosts do not look like they are performing domesticity for validation. They look like they know why they are there. Meghan's show, by contrast, often seemed to be working very hard to tell the viewer who Meghan wanted to be. Gracious, tasteful, nurturing, witty, elegant, deeply sentimental, and quietly aspirational. The more the show tried to communicate that, the less natural it felt. That is why a single award nomination will not reverse the industry's doubts. The larger Sussex production record is still uneven. Harry and Meghan's first major Netflix documentary was always going to attract viewers because it was about the royal family, their exit, and their accusations. That was the premium product. Royal conflict, private pain, palace tension, and Diana's son speaking against the institution. But after that, the question became much harder. Could they make good content without the royal drama? Live to Lead barely made an impact. Heart of Invictus should have been powerful because the subject is meaningful, but it did not become the defining success it should have been. Polo was criticized for missing the emotional story inside the sport. With Love, Meghan was meant to be a soft reset, but it became another case study in overproduction and low authenticity. This matters because Hollywood eventually stops paying for potential and starts judging delivery. A famous name can open the first door. A royal title can get a meeting. A scandal can create a bidding war. But continued investment depends on whether the work performs, whether audiences return, and whether the creator can deliver more than personal notoriety. Meghan and Harry arrived in the streaming world at the perfect moment, when platforms were spending heavily and celebrity deals were inflated. They benefited from that timing. Today, the market is more cautious. Streamers want proof. They want repeatable success. They want efficient, production. They want content that does not require endless controversy to stay visible. That is where Meghan's fashion hopes and television hopes overlap. In both cases, she seems to want institutional validation. She wants the fashion world to embrace her as an icon. She wants the entertainment world to treat her as an award-caliber producer. She wants the lifestyle world to accept her as a tastemaker. She wants royal status to remain useful while still presenting herself as independent. But every time she reaches for one of these validations, the same issue appears. The world she is trying to enter seems wary of being used as the backdrop for Meghan's personal rebrand.
Always negative. Now, a lot of people assumed that because she has a high Q rating and everyone knows who she is, that it would get them a lot of attention and the PR would rub off on them. Unfortunately, it is all negative and people don't buy the products that she shills. They want to see her and read about her. And even the people who say they don't, they do, because it's all schadenfreude. But at the same time,
The MasterChef Australia appearance is another example. According to reports, Meghan is set to appear as a guest judge, with contestants asked to create a dish fit for a duchess. That phrase is exactly why critics accuse her of breaking the spirit of the Sandringham Agreement. Meghan may object when people call her royalty, and she may try to frame herself as a private woman, an entrepreneur, or a lifestyle figure. But if the hook of a paid television appearance is that contestants are cooking for a duchess, then the royal title is the product. It is not incidental, it is the selling point. The Sandringham Agreement was meant to stop Harry and Meghan from having a half-in, half-out royal life. They could not leave official duty, pursue commercial opportunities, and still trade freely on royal status as if nothing had changed. That was the late Queen's core concern. She understood that if royal titles became commercial tools, the monarchy itself would be cheapened. Meghan's defenders may say she remains the Duchess of Sussex and has every right to use her name. But critics respond that using a Duchess identity to enhance a television cooking challenge looks exactly like the kind of blurred commercial royal branding Sandringham was designed to prevent. This is why the phrase "dish fit for a duchess" is so damaging. It turns a cooking show moment into a constitutional branding question. If Meghan were appearing simply as Meghan Markle, former actress and lifestyle enthusiast, the reaction would be different. But the Duchess language pulls the monarchy back into the transaction. It tells viewers that the value of the episode is not only food or personality, but rank. It asks contestants and audiences to treat Meghan's title as part of the entertainment. The reported cookbook project creates the same question. If Meghan is working on a cookbook, that would make commercial sense. It connects to her old lifestyle blog identity, her Netflix show As Ever, and her current attempt to build a food and hosting brand. But it also risks reinforcing the sense that everything is being repackaged from the same narrow set of materials: honey, tea, flower petals, fruit baskets, wine, one-pot pasta, sentimental memories, and soft-focus domestic language. A strong cookbook needs a clear point of view. It needs recipes people want to cook, stories that feel earned, and a reason to exist beyond the author's fame. Meghan would need to prove that she has more to offer than a Duchess title and carefully styled photographs. As Ever is part of this bigger uncertainty. The brand continues to send promotional material and lean on images that critics say appear connected to earlier Netflix shoots rather than fresh, evolving brand identity. That creates the impression of a company running on a limited reservoir of content. There are repeated motifs: sweetness, honey, tea, petals, fruit, and lifestyle ease. But a sustainable brand needs more than mood. It needs inventory, customer trust, product quality, fresh visuals, operational clarity, and a reason for customers to return. Curiosity may sell an initial drop. It does not necessarily build a business. Some critics have suggested that As Ever may eventually be sunset and replaced by another venture, allowing Meghan to start a new cycle with a fresh name, fresh tax treatment, and fresh branding.
World. She continues to push Was Never. The emails started again this week, and she has this MasterChef Australia appearance coming up later this month. She's trying to pump this as well. It's the biggest TV show in Australia, but I think the fact that she's making or getting the contestants to make, look at that, a dish fit for a duchess. How on earth can she claim that that isn't cashing in on royalty, that that isn't a direct contravention of the...
Whether that prediction proves true or not, it reflects a broader skepticism. Meghan's ventures often feel like launches rather than institutions. A launch creates noise, an institution creates loyalty. Meghan has shown she can create noise. She has not yet shown she can create loyalty at the scale her ambitions require. The UK visit was also more complicated than Sussex-friendly narratives suggest. On one hand, Harry and Meghan reportedly secured a private meeting with King Charles and Queen Camilla at Highgrove. That is not nothing. Royal proximity still matters, especially for a couple whose brand depends on the continuing implication that they are not fully exiled. A meeting with the King can be framed as a win, a sign that the door remains open, and a reminder to American media and corporate partners that the Sussexes still have access to the crown. But the meeting also revealed limits. There was no public photograph with the King, there was no visible royal reunion, there was no official reintroduction of Archie and Lilibet to the public. There was no triumphant image of Meghan back inside the royal fold. If anything, the private nature of the visit proved that the couple can enter and leave the UK discreetly when the palace provides secure conditions. That complicates Harry's long-running argument about security and Meghan's claim, direct or implied, that public exposure is unavoidable in Britain. If they could move in and out privately this time, critics will ask why every previous dispute had to become so dramatic. The children's role is especially sensitive. Archie and Lilibet are innocent and should not be dragged into adult commentary as objects of mockery or suspicion. But Harry and Meghan's management of their children's public image has become part of the wider brand issue. The children are prince and princess, yet the public has almost no relationship with them. Their faces are protected, but they are occasionally used in partial glimpses, family references, and emotional narratives around safety, inheritance, reconciliation, and royal access. Critics argue that Meghan wants the option to reveal them when useful, while withholding them when control is more valuable. Whether that is fair or not, the perception exists, and perception is powerful. That is why the Wimbledon contrast was so damaging.
Emails that come out, it's the same crap, really, over and over. It's honey, something about being sweet, honey, tea, flower petals, buy my booze. There's only so many emails exhorting you to do this. And again, it's the perfect summer day with her with a basket of fruit, apples, which makes no sense because she's not making applesauce. So, it's just, and she also is still using.
While Harry and Meghan were surrounded by questions about security, Highgrove, fashion, and failed reinventions, Catherine, Princess of Wales, appeared at Wimbledon and received a warm public response. On the Saturday, she was applauded as she entered the royal box and presented the women's singles trophy. On the Sunday, the appearance of Prince George and Princess Charlotte pointed to the future of the monarchy. This is what royalty does best. When it is working properly, it regenerates. It allows the public to know the next generation slowly, carefully, and naturally. It does not need to explain itself every minute because the continuity is visible. For Harry, that kind of generational shift is painful. He was once the young royal everyone watched. He was the fun one, Diana's son, the soldier prince, the mischievous spare. But now William and Catherine's children are becoming part of the public story. George is the future king. Charlotte is already showing an ease with public duty. Louis has become a public personality in his own right. As those children grow, Harry's place in the emotional royal hierarchy shrinks. This happened before with Prince Andrew, who became less central as William and Harry came of age. Now, Harry is experiencing his own version of being pushed further from the center. The Joe Marler podcast only made that contrast worse. Harry tried to be casual, funny, and down to earth, but critics saw a man forcing a laddish persona while still reminding people he is a prince and duke. That is the awkward middle ground he cannot escape. He wants to be ordinary when it suits him, royal when it benefits him, and aggrieved when he is criticized. But the public can see the contradiction. The more Harry tries to prove he is relaxed and relatable, the more unnatural it can look, because the royal grievance remains in the background. By contrast, Catherine's interaction with 12-year-old Thea Stack at Wimbledon showed a different kind of public instinct. Thea, who has cerebral palsy and autism, became emotional when meeting the princess after taking up tennis as part of her recovery. Catherine handled the moment gently, recognizing when the emotion became too much and shifting attention carefully to the caregivers with her. That kind of interaction matters because it shows restraint. Catherine did not need to make the moment about herself. She understood that the person in front of her was the focus. That is one of the reasons the public responds to her. She appears to know when to step forward and when to step back. This is the quality Meghan struggles to communicate. Meghan's public gestures often look curated before they look instinctive. Catherine's best moments look instinctive before they look curated. That may not always be fair, because Catherine also has palace support, preparation, and experience. But public perception is not built only on fairness. It is built on repeated impressions. Catherine has built an impression of steadiness. Meghan has built an impression of performance. Once those impressions harden, every new appearance is interpreted through them. Prince William's position in all of this is crucial. The Highgrove meeting may have involved Charles, Camilla, Harry, Meghan, and perhaps the children, but any real institutional reconciliation must eventually pass through William. Charles can act as a father and grandfather. William has to act as the future king. He has to protect Catherine, their children, and the monarchy that George will inherit. That is why many believe William will not accept a full Sussex return, regardless of what Charles privately hopes. If Charles ever wanted a Christmas reunion or a larger family gathering, William and Catherine would have leverage simply by choosing not to attend. They would not need a public argument.
I'm so sorry about your friend Anne. That's
Thank
horrible.
you. It's been a difficult week.
I can only imagine. My heart goes out to you, and I'm really sorry. As for Meghan, we still have time. There's still the Diana doc that will be released next year on the 30th anniversary of Diana's death. And of course, she wants that to be as big as possible. And we don't know what happened.
They could quietly spend the holiday with Catherine's family or elsewhere, leaving Charles to decide whether inviting Harry and Meghan is worth dividing the visible future of the monarchy. That is the practical reality. The king may still love his son, but the monarchy's future is not Harry, it is William, Catherine, and their children. The court case against the publishers associated with the Daily Mail adds another layer. Harry's defeat was not simply legal, it was reputational. His public reaction, including criticism of the outcome, allowed critics to argue that he attacks institutions when they do not validate him. According to the source, there is also concern about Harry's financial exposure and reporting around whether Sir Elton John would help him with costs. Without relying on unverified claims as fact, the broader point is obvious. Harry's legal battles have become expensive, emotionally draining, and damaging to the people around him. That financial pressure matters for Meghan too. If fashion houses are wary, streaming projects are uneven, lifestyle products are uncertain, legal costs mount, and royal access remains controlled, then the Sussex business model becomes more fragile. They still have fame, they still have titles, they still have supporters, but fame is not the same as a stable income machine. Titles can attract attention, but they can also attract scrutiny. Supporters can amplify a message, but they cannot always create mainstream commercial demand. This is why Meghan's next year becomes so important. She cannot keep moving from one symbolic validation to another and hope that eventually the public stops noticing the pattern. A fashion appearance, an award nomination, a cooking show cameo, a reported cookbook, a product email, a Highgrove meeting, and a carefully controlled glimpse of family life may each create a small spike of attention. But unless those spikes connect to a bigger, believable direction, they fade quickly. The public has become very good at recognizing the Sussex cycle. Tease a reinvention, generate headlines, frame the backlash as unfair, move to the next thing, and then repeat. The way out would require Meghan to choose one lane and stay in it long enough to become credible. If she wants high fashion, then she has to respect fashion as its own world, not simply as a stage for Duchess imagery. That means arriving on time, letting the designer own the moment, building long-term relationships, wearing the clothes in a way that creates desire, and accepting that fashion status is earned through taste, discipline, and trust. If she wants lifestyle television, then she has to make a show that is useful and emotionally alive, not merely glossy. If she wants, as ever, to be a serious business, then the products need to feel coherent, the customer experience needs to be strong, and the brand needs a reason to exist beyond curiosity about Meghan. If she wants royal reconciliation, then she has to stop allowing every royal adjacent moment to become part of a commercial or reputational strategy. That is the hard truth. Meghan's problem is not a lack of opportunity. It is a lack of settled purpose. She has had opportunities most people in entertainment, fashion, and business would never receive. She married into the royal family, she had global coverage, she had major streaming access, she had elite contacts, she had a built-in audience, she had the emotional power of the Sussex exit. She had the ability to launch brands, pitch shows, appear in magazines, and walk into rooms that would be closed to almost anyone else. If the results still feel uneven after all of that, then the issue is not that nobody gave her a chance.
Tennis fans as she presented the trophy for the women's singles. But then on the Sunday, the big day, the men's final, we got a glimpse of what Harry, and let's just be very clear about this, has been so afraid of for so long. Because it was the start, and this has happened over a long period of time, Paula, and I think it is being done very gradually, but it was the start of Prince George, and particularly Princess Charlotte, who seems...
It is that the chances have not added up to a clear identity. This is especially damaging because Meghan's public story has always been framed around potential. At the beginning, she was the woman who would modernize the monarchy. After leaving, she was the woman who would build a new model of royal independence. In Hollywood, she was the woman who would become a major producer. In lifestyle, she was the woman who would become a tastemaker. In philanthropy, she was the woman who would bring compassion and advocacy to global issues. In fashion, she was the woman who might become a couture-adjacent icon. But potential has an expiration date. At some point, the public stops asking what Meghan might become and starts judging what she has actually built. That is where the current freeze-out hurts. Fashion houses are not sentimental. Streaming platforms are not sentimental. Award bodies may be polite, but executives study performance. Customers study value. Audiences study authenticity. The monarchy studies discretion. Each of those worlds has different rules, but they all require the same thing in the end: a reason to keep investing in the person. Meghan's fame gives people a reason to look once. It does not always give them a reason to stay. This is why the Balenciaga story feels symbolic. Meghan wanted fashion to validate her. The Emmy nomination was supposed to validate her television career. MasterChef Australia is supposed to validate her lifestyle identity. Highgrove is supposed to validate her continuing royal proximity. But in each case, the validation comes with a problem. Fashion may not want her back. The Emmy nomination is limited. MasterChef raises Sandringham questions. Highgrove produced no public photo and may have reinforced the limits of royal trust. That leaves Meghan in a difficult place. She can still produce moments, but she is struggling to produce momentum. A moment is a headline, a photograph, a nomination, a product drop, a television cameo, or a reported meeting. Momentum is when those moments build into something larger and more stable. Meghan's public life has many moments. The momentum keeps slipping. The reason is trust. Brands must trust that Meghan will not overshadow them. Audiences must trust that her lifestyle world is genuine. The palace must trust that private access will not become public material.
Got to be incredibly delicate in these situations, and it's not about her. It's about doing what's right for the member of the public who happens to be in the spotlight in a really, really intense situation. Look at what happened.
The fashion industry must trust that she will respect the room she enters. Streamers must trust that she can deliver cost-effective content. Customers must trust that the product is worth buying beyond curiosity. Right now, too many of those trust relationships appear weak. So this is not merely a story about Meghan missing a fashion show. It is a story about a woman trying to convert royal notoriety into permanent cultural power and repeatedly discovering that attention alone is not enough. It is not enough for Balenciaga. It is not enough for Netflix. It is not enough for the lifestyle market. It is not enough for the monarchy. It may keep her name alive, but it does not automatically make her desirable, useful, or credible. The great irony is that Meghan still has every advantage most people could never dream of. She has global fame, beauty, access, media interest, a royal title, a wealthy lifestyle, and a built-in audience that will defend her no matter what. But those advantages have not yet become a coherent second act. Instead, they have become a series of attempts to prove she still matters. That is a fragile place to be. The fashion world appears to be giving her an answer. If the reporting is accurate, the answer is you may bring attention, but you also bring distraction. The entertainment world is giving a similar answer. A nomination is nice, but the work still has to be compelling. The royal world is giving its own answer. A private meeting may happen, but public restoration is another matter entirely. And the public is giving perhaps the harshest answer: we may keep watching, but that does not mean we are buying. That is the real freeze-out. Not one missed Balenciaga invitation, but a broader cooling of belief. Meghan can still enter the conversation, but she is struggling to enter the worlds she wants to conquer on their terms. Fashion wants the clothes to matter. Television wants the show to matter. Royal life wants duty to matter. Business wants products to matter. Meghan's challenge is that too often Meghan herself becomes the only thing that matters. Until that changes, every reinvention will face the same ending. A burst of attention, a wave of criticism, a defensive explanation, a new project, a new headline, and then the same question all over again. What is Meghan actually building that can survive without the title, without the controversy, and without the royal drama? That is the question Balenciaga did not answer for her, the Emmy nomination cannot answer for her, and Australia may only make harder to avoid